Massive income from passive income. That's what we're working on. I don't want to work too hard.
We don't want to work too hard. We just want massive income. The point is not to work. It's to generate income. My name is Walter Amarillo. I'm here with also our friend Mitch Jaworski. Mitch, what are you known for?
I'm known for real estate investing, mainly rental properties, burst strategy. And then rumor has it I'm a crypto guy as well. So I might know a little bit about that. And apparently I get down with the stocks as well. So multidimensional, but real estate is my love.
Real estate is all of our love. So Mike, Schein and I myself have been talking about stocks way too much in the past couple of weeks. And we're falling back to our comfort zone of real estate.
Right.
Credit lines. So we've been all getting credit lines. In fact, I totally blew off Mike last week.
No, because I didn't mean it like that. That was funny. I would have done the same.
The way you said it, though, you said it. I felt the meaning behind it.
You ever been somewhere and like there's some like totally exciting news, but you got to kind of finish? It's like, I got to get out.
That's exactly what it was. I was like, dude, I just got approved for a $3.5 million loan. I don't know how I'm going to focus, Mike. I don't know how I'm going to focus right now.
3.5? You got 3.5? That's awesome.
You know what? I think if Ron was here, he would correct me. I believe it was 3.9, technically. I keep saying 3.5 because that's what I think it's going to get approved for.
The number just keeps going up.
Yeah. But I told him I'd be fine with a 2.5. And
Great. I'm fine with 1.875.
Just a 0.75 because it lets us buy way more.
Right.
Mitch, when are you getting your credit line? When are you going to be cool like the rest of us?
As soon as I talk to Don.
Yeah, get your call going.
He's got a checkbook of $1 million bills. He just passes these things out. He's like, yeah, here's $1 million. Here's $1 million. You get $1 million.
You get $1 million. You get $1 million.
I left mine on the table, but I also thought I was going to give you them. I got some $1 billion bills too, but they're like bigger, so it's cool. I give them to my kids. Here, have $1 billion.
I mean, they're $1 billion bills, so they should be a little bigger.
I was joking around. What happens if you lose it? You're like walking around money, and you're like, wait, where's my $1 billion bill?
I think we're ready for the $1,000 Trump bill. I think that the nation is ready for that.
Oh my God.
Just because of how much inflation we're experiencing.
Yeah, totally.
That's the thing.
How awesome this president is just in general. I think we deserve his face on a bill.
People think
controversy.
Yeah, right.
$1,000. You're like, oh my God, I'm not going to carry a $1,000 bill. Like, I don't want to risk like losing $1,000. But when we get to a point where inflation makes $1,000 essentially have the spending power of $100 bill, then you will carry around your $1,000 bill because it's like carrying a C note.
It's like pesos, right? You go and you start spending pesos. They give you all these, like, there's so many zeros on their dollars. It's like, what is all this? Yeah, it's going to cost you 1,500 pesos. What did I just get? I just got a massage. What do you mean 1,500 pesos?
Well, I'm going the opposite way, not to talk about stocks again, but I invest in the company Square, and it seems like money is going to not be existing.
So wait, hold on.
Yeah.
One, not to talk about stocks, but you just did.
Yeah.
Two,
he invests like a millennial. He really does.
Right? He is.
Look at Tesla, Square, Netflix.
He really does. He does invest like a millennial. It's
Facebook,
awesome.
Amazon.
I am happy to say, though.
I'm going to live to 150. So
exactly. So I actually, Square is my best performing stock in my IRA. I bought some Square like a year ago. I bought some more on the dip.
I feel like a loser.
And I bought it for the same reason, is that they are a payment processor, but they're, on board with the digital era, and they do Bitcoin. So I was like, all right, I like them. Yeah. They're on top of changing dynamics, changing technology, changing demographics.
Disruptor company.
Oh, exactly. All right. You guys and your disruptive companies. I got to pull it back to real estate.
You've got EXP.
Mike turned me on to
EXP. I got Tesla.
You do. So you got them. Mike turned me on to like paying attention to disruptive companies because I didn't really look at it that way. And I'm like, oh shit, this makes sense.
But meanwhile, Lemonade's dropped and dropped and dropped. So
yes, but you know what it is? it's a long-term gamble
Yeah,
on
it
a
is.
disruptive technology.
Exactly.
It's asymmetrical risk. Either A, I'm going to lose the $50 a share I bought into it, or B, at some point this thing's going to be worth $1,000 and split.
Exactly.
Like
It's
that's
like
the biggest thing. Asymmetrical risk. Anytime you read any book about these, top-notch investors, it's asymmetrical risk. I mean, you read like Tony Robbins, like Money Master the Game. Everyone he interviewed, they're looking for 4-to-1, 5-to-1, or better risk reward.
Right.
absolutely.
And
So
we don't give financial advice. We're just talking about our own portfolios. So if you're looking at this, do your own research. But I will say, I just, if it seems like I always come up with these new companies, I have a cheat sheet. It's called Kathy Wood from ARK Investors. So if you want to find like 300 companies, ARK Investors, what? You look like you have a question.
I think that's who turned me on to Square.
I
Yeah,
use
she's a big investor in Square.
so
I
I
read-
actually
yeah.
own a bunch of shares of ARK, her company. So
Nice.
the
Well,
ETF.
she has like 4 ETFs. So you
Yep.
do one that's like genetic stuff. So you get all these things like Illumina and Pacific Biosciences, all the ones that are doing genetic stuff.
Yep.
And then Tesla is in like the robotics and AI fund. So like I was thinking for my nephews and nieces who were looking to invest, but they don't have the money to drop into Tesla when it was at 2,200. I was like, you should really just look at ARK Invest ETFs. They're actually pretty cheap. I mean, the fee that she charges.
Right.
And I've cherry picked a couple of our other companies that are cheap for our like penny stock of the month type thing.
Yeah. Which LMKK, whatever it is.
Yeah. LLKKF, Lake
LK, yeah.
Resources.
That one
lot
is
of
It's
letters.
at 4 cents, 3 cents.
dude, it's up like 26% today. So
No way.
good day, yeah.
That's
Man, why am I not in it? I missed out.
I bought like 20,000 shares
nice, right?
at
Why go to the
2.8
casino when you can
cents.
buy penny stocks?
Right, exactly. But if we figure, Mitch, that if we buy like 10 of these and one of them hits,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, and that's exactly what the ratio is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because when you hit one of those, the return's so large that you can be wrong on the other 9. It's kind
Right.
of like people. I know people. Like I play. Well, when I'm healthy, I play ball with this retired doctor, and all he does is invest in pharma for the most part, and he's taking shots at all these cheap pharma stocks that have drugs, in the pipeline, and
Yeah.
as long as he's right on 1 out of 10.
Yep.
Got actually an interesting play on that I found on the internet is Fortress Bio, which is FBIO.
Yep.
And basically what they do is they have a bunch of people on staff that are super smart, but they don't do their own drugs. They just analyze these companies and their drugs, and then they take a big amount of money and go in on them. And so check out FBIO. It's, it's under $5. I know that, but I don't think it's going to stay under 5. That's my
FBI. So again, not giving financial
No,
advice,
no,
not
just-
suggesting
sorry,
anybody.
that's the problems. I'm talking to 2 of my friends here, so I feel like we're just hanging out, having
Are we
sushi at a
recording?
restaurant.
This is recording.
But
Yeah.
for the people who are out there, we're not giving advice. And what is it, Mitch? They always say your investment could go to 0 or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, there's so many different disclaimers, but
Yeah, right.
Fortress Biotech. I'm checking it out. It's been on a run. It's up 33% for the month, 52 for the quarter, 140 for the year, 60 for the 5-year though.
Yeah,
So
they had a problem with some thing they invested in, so it went down. But
No
Mike,
dividends,
come
no
on.
PE ratio. Yeah, it's a high volatility, but it's got high volume. Almost 1 million shares traded. So there is a lot of trading on it.
Exactly. And the views and opinions of the 100 Millionaires podcast is not those of its guests.
Yeah.
that's right. Nice,
and,
nice job.
and everything that is produced on this podcast is for informational purposes only.
Right.
That's right. And if anything, we could just call this entertainment, and we'll leave it at that. So,
Yeah, well, I bought one last week just to tell a horror story, so not to listen to my advice. I bought one called NNOX, Nano Technologies, and
yeah,
they say they do this X-ray machine that only costs $10,000, and it can be brought anywhere. It's very small and compact.
Yep.
And so I bought it. It was like $49 a share. Thing immediately shot up to like $67, and I'm like, whew, this is the most amazing thing ever. But I'm not a trader like you, Mitch. Like, I wouldn't just lock in my gains. I'm like long term.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing, because
Yeah.
talk to
But
me
it is
about
fun.
locked in my
selling
gains.
Tesla at $425 after I tripled my money thinking I crushed it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, so this one came plummeting down the next day, and then OX, and it's there's some sort of allegation of fraud that they have no proof that they can actually do an X-ray. And
Well,
the thing
that
is that
happens.
there was somebody who commented in one of the videos saying, "I've never seen a picture of their X-rays. Like, they don't even post a picture."
You know what that's called? That's called a sick marketing team.
Right, exactly.
You
Absolutely.
can create
Probably work for
Momo.
Nikola.
I mean, think about it. It really, like, I've talked to so many people about this, and I was like, it comes down to marketing. Like, when I was in Port St. Lucie last week, I got some friends that basically had inherited like a pizzeria, and I was like, listen, your food needs to be good enough so people will come back, but in the end, your success strictly comes down to marketing.
100%.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the society we live in. Marketing, getting that momentum going, and if you can get that whole Momo going, the Momo crowd, oh my God, you see it with stocks. I mean, think about
Right.
what was the one that was a complete fraud that was like
Nikola.
$1 billion company? The was it
Oh,
23andMe or
Theranos.
Theranos? Yeah,
Yeah.
Theranos.
Or you could just
Oh,
say Nikola, so because supposedly they're being investigated by
I
the
saw that.
SEC
Well, I mean,
and the DOJ.
how does a company stock keep going up? They don't even produce cars yet.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing was that they said,
It's based on Tesla, right?
let's do a deal with General Motors.
Yep.
And everybody said, yeah, because you have the best electric battery technology. This is
That's why they get busted.
battery technology and hydrogen technology. And then when they joined with GM, they said, hey, GM, can we use your battery technology and your hydrogen technology?
Hold on, though.
And by the way, you get 11% of the shares plus $700,000 or $700 million, and we'll just buy the trucks from you and then sell them to our customers. Like, what?
Wow.
That's
Whoever
what's going
runs
on
that
right
company, I am going to give credit for having the largest balls ever.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Ron and I have the conversation all the time. We spend a lot of time making a good product, but like when it comes down to should we spend time on a good product or should we spend time on marketing? It's like, dude, like as long as it's a good product, you can like just kill the marketing, spend time on marketing, bring people in. You can always fix the product later. That's what a lot of these guys are doing. They're like, hey, let me sell. Don't look behind the curtain because I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm about to bring that partner in. They're going to clean it all up for me, right? Like, it's actually insane. The whole .com bubble is based on.
100%. I actually have, I got a friend, we've been friends with since junior high school, and he's funny because he's not a financial guy, and all he says to me all the time, he's like, Ponzi scheme. He calls everything a Ponzi. He's like, life is a Ponzi scheme. And I'm laughing. I'm like, you're kind of right.
Hey, I wanted to point this out because I didn't want anybody to think that this is my book.
Look at all these products.
This is not my book. I just bought this book, and the lawyer, her name is
I like that book.
Kim Lisa Taylor. She's, people are asking me because I'm talking to investors about syndication, but this woman, she is the resource on this. So I just got the book and I'm starting to read it. And so if you want to learn about syndication and raising private money, I just figured, I don't even know her yet. One of my friends knows her very well and done a couple of syndications, but she's the real deal. So how to legally raise private money by Kim Lisa Taylor.
Like, that's in my section of
money.
Raise Capital books.
Yeah.
There she is.
Nice.
There you go.
See, I leave all my books at home. I gotta have like a work library.
I got to move my bookcases into my office. They're actually like in my living room, bookending my like TV.
So this is just a section, but it's all in how to raise capital, right? Every single one of these is raise capital, get the money, like IRAs, legal, like.
Yeah, I bought a couple of because you recommended them. I haven't read them.
I got 2 new ones coming in the mail this week. Expert Secrets.
Nice.
Right.
I read .com secrets, so I got to read expert secrets now. And then
Who's that
also,
by?
believe it or not, a classic. It's in the it's the only one in the foundational 5 that I have not read. It's an
Science of
old
Getting
one.
Rich.
Oh, Rich
No.
Man of Babylon.
Nope.
Really?
Think and Grow Rich.
During Grow Rich, I read 20-something years ago, and I wrote a Cliff Notes version of it that I read once a year. I wrote a Cliff Notes version of it when I was like 24 years old.
Which one haven't you read?
And then
Science of Getting Rich.
there you go. Boom.
No way. Science of
of
Getting
Getting
Rich.
Rich. I actually never read it.
That
There
is
you go.
what The Secret's based on. That's what
I know. Which
Grant
it was,
Cardone's Millionaire booklet. Like,
it was kind of funny because I've read The Secret. Have you guys read The Answer? The Answer's a cool book. The Answer is by John Assaraf and someone else, but John Assaraf, I think, was in The Secret.
Gotcha.
I like The Answer better than I like The Secret.
Really?
oh, all
But
right.
The Answer gets more into like the physiology of the mind and stuff.
Yeah.
Brenda's
anyway.
reading now The Power and the Magic, which is by Rhonda Byrne.
I have the book.
Looked really good.
Yep. The Power. Actually, I watched The Power. I read The Power on audio. And really good book. It's actually about love. So not to get too soft on you guys.
Hey man, listen, I read the 5 love languages. All right. Sometimes you gotta get emotional.
Me too. And then I read The Game, and I got very unemotional about it.
Yeah, I remember reading The Game. I remember when my best friend handed me this book. I'm like, what? I'm like, looks like a Bible.
It is. The
What's
pickup
the name of
artist
the
Bible.
author?
What is it?
What's the name of the author of The Answer?
John
Assaraf.
Assaraf. I think it's Assaraff or something like that. I can go grab it if you can't find it.
So anyway, these all these products behind me, they didn't exist before this image was created. This image was created before all of the products actually existed. So we were selling each one of these programs before I'd figured out what was in the program.
I love it.
Because it actually makes sense to sell stuff first to see if somebody even wants to buy it.
That's yeah. I mean, that's straight out of the like Tim Ferriss 4-Hour Work Week. He's just like, don't sell what you think people want, sell them what they actually want. And then it's like you basically advertise things, and then whichever is the one they want, then you provide it.
Yeah.
Right?
Because in the end, though, think about it. All those products technically existed. You need to just physically turn it into a organized, specific thing that people could either read, watch, or listen to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The knowledge was already there. The information was already there. It was just a matter of organizing it as a product.
That's it. And it's, unless you do that, though, unless you do that sales and marketing, you don't know how much money your company's going to make. So there's this whole principle around all this crazy stuff these guys are doing that it's like, you know what, that's actually kind of right, though. Like a part of it is right, although I don't know about raising capital before. Like you should be a little more honest about.
Well, that with raising capital, I mean, technically you should have a business model and a working product and some revenue.
Right.
But when money gets really cheap and really easy, people just start throwing it around at ideas.
Yeah.
And you got to remember too, we've become the potential society. People used to get paid on winning, on producing. Now people get paid on potential. I mean, think about it in sports. It's so prevalent. People used to get paid for winning. Now people get paid on potential, and they hold on for years and years and years. And then finally, like, all right, this isn't working out. It's that first round quarterback that for 5 years gets a chance, and 5 years later, he still sucks. But he made more money than guys that, were nobodies and became good because they got all that big money up front on the potential.
It's
I like
crazy.
my participation trophy. Why are you?
Oh my
Really?
God. You know what? On that note, I'm going to go grab the answer book because if I don't, I'm going to start going on a rant about participation trophies.
So
I ordered The Answer, by the way.
the whole idea of long-term think and believing in a company, like that actually works, right? Like this long-term model, real estate is very rewarding in the long term. If you hold it long-term, take care of it long-term, think of it as a 20-year goal, the real estate pays you, right? That's the one that's still, it definitely works as long as you're cash flowing, as long as you're in the right area and you don't sell in the wrong time, you're going to do really well with it.
Right.
With stocks, it's dependent on the CEO. The CEO could go and smoke weed and be on a video smoking weed, and suddenly the stock drops. But if you're in it for the long term, there you go. The answer.
I ordered it.
And then, if you ever want some serious entertainment about what happened to my stuff here, my desk is bouncing around. This book right here from an anonymous hedge fund manager. It's basically about when the market crashed in like '08. This thing is if you ever want an entertaining read, that's somewhat informative about, the crash. This book was straight fire. And I love the fact that it's literally by an anonymous hedge fund manager. He's like, I am not putting my name on this thing.
It's funny because that is exactly what the Scaredy Cat brand would be like. You should read the fear and the bad side to this, and don't do that, right? Don't do what they did. Learn from the mistake.
Although I feel like anyone who didn't learn from those mistakes is actually making more money than me right now because things are getting crazy again. And I am hitting singles and doubles while people are hitting home runs because everything is a little crazy.
My mentor we were sitting down talking the other day, and Ron and I are cashing out of half our portfolio, all of our wins, everything we've gained, we're cashing out half, we're keeping the other half strong. And so ego, it's like, oh, fuck, like I don't want to do this. But like when it comes to stabilizing, we've got 3 plays. 1, the refinance, put everything into 6% interest. 2, we're selling half the portfolio, get completely cashed out, have most of our portfolio almost paid off. And then 3 is the sale of a couple of condos to cash out of those and put, at the end of all this, we should have about $1 million cash, a $3 million credit line, and 30 units that are nearly paid off. And it puts us in a position where we can launch forward and buy 100 units if we wanted to, right? Like it's just, but it's going to put us into a very boring position where all we're going to be doing is focusing on the training company and teaching while we're waiting for the opportunity to show up again. Because I can't have idle hands, right? I'll go and I'll buy something stupid just to be busy.
No, but I mean, the bottom line is, there's a time to be aggressive. There's a time to be conservative, and recognizing that is key. And that doesn't mean you don't do any deals. It just means you either A, underwrite differently, B, you cherry pick a little more, or C, if you do find like a large deal, it's got to make a lot of sense.
100%.
And it's tough too. And I like it. I feel like we're segueing into real estate, but it does make it tough now because think about it. No one's selling at any kind of discount. I have this, with the students I work with, it's like they want this COVID discount that doesn't exist. Cause it's like, listen, there's tenants in there. I'm inheriting tenants that very well could not pay me, very well, could lose their job any day. But, sellers are still asking top market price. Like there's no, so I'm essentially taking on their risk and I'm not getting a discount for taking on that risk. And there's something to be said for that because generally that's how things work, like risk reward. So if you take on more risk, you should be getting some kind of discount for that. And we're not seeing that discount. And that's why a lot of, especially new investors are struggling because they don't have a portfolio already built that can, mitigate any damage on a new property doing that to them. And they're not as comfortable with that risk. So it's something I've noticed. And someone like quoted, like I said it, and they like kind of like quoted me, said, like put a quote because they got a kick out of how true it was. But people essentially, want to sell their properties in a COVID world without a COVID discount.
Yeah. And it's not exciting to do it. So I was sitting with my mentor and he said, this is like it's just a flash in the pan, right? Like this is somebody just put fire, they squeezed like some lighter fluid onto the fire. So the coals were burning out. Like there's still a crash coming. It's just not yet. And when I was talking to Carlos, and Carlos trades Forex, we were talking to him about the real estate market. And they both own 50 units. So they're investors themselves. They know real estate. Like we were talking about it being almost like a little blip on the radar, just a flash crash, just it's boom, down, up and down. Right. And so that's what we're seeing is this sellers don't want to hold the houses anymore, but they know they can get top dollar for it because buyers all want a good deal. Buyers are there saying, I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy. And the sellers are like, well, here you go. I guess if you want it bad enough,
Right.
But they're not like, I can't handle this house anymore. The sellers are not in that desperate situation yet where it's, dude, I got to get out. This is just preemptive sellers. These are sellers who are cautiously selling in advance of.
I think it goes back to the fact that there's just no inventory.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Sellers just sit there and they say, yeah, like you said, Walter, I'll sell it, but I want top dollar for it. And if you're not going to give it to me, then I'll keep it and continue to pay rent, to collect rent? Because you said that, what are you? You're like 99% still getting your rent. So
We're closer to 96, but it's still good. Yeah,
Well,
it's still good.
and that's the thing. I mean, the point you're making is
Yeah.
is right spot on. Like, A, there's an inventory problem. So B, everyone that right now owns a decent sized portfolio, like they're sitting pretty, and it's like, all right, you know what? Things have been good the last 10 years. There's probably going to be some kind of drawdown in the near future. So yeah, maybe I want to book some gains, but at the same time, like I'm still collecting almost all my rent. My property value is still high. Like,
Yep.
so if I'm going to sell, like you need to give me a price that makes me say, all right,
right.
you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, it's like that situation where, you know, you're either buying or like, for instance, like when you're looking for like, let's say a car, but you don't have to have it. You're just like, oh, that'd be cool if I can get like, you're only going to buy that car if you get some ridiculous deal because you're like, I really don't need it. It's like, you know, that when you don't
Right.
need something, it's so much harder to get that person to pull the trigger because, you know, most of these people, you don't need to sell their property. It's like,
Right.
it'd be smart.
I also think there's nothing for them to buy. You know, if you're talking about a 1031 exchange, what are you going to buy? Because even as you get bigger, I'm looking at 100 unit plus in other states, and they're all asking retail. So it's like you're not going to get a deal. So yeah, it just seems like an exercise in futility.
I feel like right now turnkey is very, very, very difficult. In
Even
terms
value
of
add.
you're
Even
gonna
value
pay
add is
retail.
overpriced.
Yeah, like you're paying retail, if not higher. And
unless you're Gualton, and then you find deals in Fall River.
On who you know.
I mean, I guess technically I'm buying something turnkey. I mean, it's outdated, but it's fully occupied, and I'm not doing anything but just taking over and keeping everything as is for the rest of 2020.
That's it.
Assuming I close.
You'll close. Yeah.
Mike Schein can help me with that.
Yeah.
You're closing on 5 units, right, Mike?
4 units. It's just like a small strip mall. That
Wait a second, 4 units. Did you steal my deal?
they're like 4 little units, like you could fit like maybe like a barber chair or like a small tailor, but it's in a good location and it needs work and probably paying a little higher than I want to, but I feel like once we do the work on it, because it is value add, that people are going to drive by like they do with my other properties and say, wow, how'd you get that for that price? This is great. And we also have the potential of going up. We spoke to the town and the town said you could put residential units above it. So long term, I just want to put a couple apartments on top and make it look pretty. And I think that people in the future will say, wow, that was a good.
That'd be a sick, if you can, the residential on top.
Yeah.
It
was funny. That's what they wanted. They don't want me to put commercial on top. They said, if you put residential on top, we'd probably be inclined to do it.
Really?
Yep.
That's so crazy. I feel like if I said that here in Fall River, they'd say, oh, we'd rather you put commercial as opposed to residential.
It depends. It depends on the town. I mean, you know, in my area, you see a ton of commercial first floor and then residential on all the floors above. They did a lot of that here. So,
cool. Yeah,
and that's,
we'll see.
Dude, that deal sounds so much better with that potential residential value add. And that's the key word there. Cause like, you know, I mentioned turnkey a minute ago. That's the problem, I guess, especially for people that maybe are inexperienced, is that right now, I feel like majority of the time to find a deal, you got to find big value add projects, you know, and new investors are afraid to take on major renovations, rightfully so. You know, so either you got to partner up or, you know, you got to just, I actually was listening, my friend Lindsay, who's like, I call her the queen of flipping in Palm Bay, Florida. She posted a video and I don't even know who the guy was. It was a 1995, like commencement speech. And he was a motivational guy, but literally he sounded like Nike. He kept just saying like, just do it. And he was talking about all this stuff. He's like, do it. And it was like, the answer to everything was do it. He was like, oh, well, how do I, you know, do it? And like his basically said the difference between the guy worth 5 million, or the guy bringing in 5 million, the guy bringing in 50,000 is the guy bringing in 5 million.
Just did it. Yeah.
Just do it. He does it. Like that was it. Like he was just like, he's not smarter. He's not that. He's like, just do it. He's like, in fact, intelligent people sometimes get in their own way because they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to make it better. And he's like, stop thinking, just do it. And he just
is it Tim Ferriss that always says that? He's like, just do it and course correct. Or
Course
take-
corrections go.
Maybe, but
Somebody that we read said that, just get started and you'll course correct. It's better than not.
that sounds like something Tim Ferriss would say. I'm surprised I don't recognize, because we know, like, if I'm a fanboy of anyone, it probably is Tim Ferriss, because I consistently listen to his podcast and read all his stuff and quote him a lot. But
So yeah, to your point, Mitch, I was actually sitting with one of my friends who I worked with a long time ago, and we went for a walk this Saturday. And he just, he reached out to me and he was asking for some help with finances. How do I get to the next level? He's, finally, before he used to tell me, hey man, money's not everything. And I was like, hey, look, how do I just get a little more money? And so it was a really good conversation, seeing where he's at, taking care of his kid and, just going through a little divorce. And he's just, money is more important now, wants to clean up. And I told him, I was like, what your problem is? You're too fucking smart. Like you're too smart. You're thinking too much. Money is easy. Money is simple. Money is boring. It's not about having the greatest idea, the most creative thing. It's just do the same thing over and over and over. And like the mentorship, if I created another product to only confuse people, like I'm better off just sell one thing, sell the mentorship, and then afterwards sell the mastermind. Like boom, funnel. And
Right.
if I want to create all these separate like, me, I want to get the money, get the deal, like get the attention, build the syndication, buy rental. I'd love to create 1,000 different courses, but then there'd be too many options. Nobody would click on anything.
Right.
So it's just.
They're an example with like jelly or something like that. They did an example and they had like 38 types of jelly on the shelf and their sales. But then when they put,
I'll take the peanut butter.
they put like one type of jelly and they sold. I mean, it just sold like crazy because people don't want to.
too many choices.
Right?
Too many choices.
Confused mind says no.
Confused mind says
I
no.
love that. You know what? I need to like really digest that and keep that in my mind. I'm confused. Yep. I love it.
It's true. And for yourself with your activity, right? And we were talking about our buddy Mitch Jaworski, right? Like, and even myself, I sat last night with Dorita and I told her, I was like, I know I'm doing it again because I'm an entrepreneur spirit at heart. I'm an entrepreneur. What I do is I build, I jump to something else, and I build, and I jump to something else. And I have a tendency not to want to stay in the same thing that's built all my wealth, the same thing that's built all my income. And because the next shiny object, let's go build that. That looks like more fun, more exciting. Let's go.
Yeah.
And she told me, she's like, I don't see you starting anything new. And I was like, that's because I'm depressed. I'm sitting here not doing what I want to do. That's like why I'm sitting here literally watching Netflix right now, watching Star Trek, trying to take my mind off of going out and building something. Like I'm watching Star Trek thinking maybe I should be a part of a space program that builds housing in space. That would be cool. I can't even shut it off.
You end up watching that movie, by the way, Walter?
Not yet. I've actually seen it before. So I have seen it before. Was it Galaxy?
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Oh my goodness.
Right? My wife looks at me like I have 3 heads when I mention
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so good.
This is how I stop myself from starting another business, though. Like this is how I slow it down.
No, it's true. I mean, and that's why, it's funny when you talk to other entrepreneurs, it's just like the conversation just has like emotionally, it has a different feeling to it because it's just like-minded. And like you have that where you just you want to build things.
Yeah.
You want to start. And it's also a negative though, because it's like, it's like, oh, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And it's like, you're great. I mean, it's almost like you're great at starting things and getting it rolling, and then you get bored and want to create something else.
Well, I think that I'm not sure about your partner, your business partner, Mitch. Was his name Tim?
Yeah.
Tim, yep.
But I know that Ron is like a governor for Walter, and I know that Brenda is for me because I'll come home after like one of these Zooms where Walter's like, "Oh yeah, we picked up an 8, we picked up a 4," and I'm like bouncing in the house like a caged tiger. Like we
got
get
the money, Brenda. Let's go.
We gotta
get
something. We gotta get something. And she's like, "Will you calm down? You're doing it right. Pump the brakes." Yeah.
It's good to have that. And honestly, I think because of experience, I'm actually playing that role in my partnership because since he's newer, he's got all that excitement and he wants to, what do we get next? And I'm like, we don't have capacity for grab. Like you're like doing a full renovation on your primary home you just bought. Like I can't give you another project right now. Like let's just close on the occupied, off market deal. And then when that's done and you finish your house, then we'll look for a project. Like take a breath. We just finally, got to a point where, you know, we're not jammed up. We freed up capital. You know, we can do things outside of, so,
Nice.
but at the same time, I'm struggling with it because I want to like,
Yeah,
I want to go. Like, let me get another one. Let me.
I was talking to Ron the other day. I said, I made some joke. I said, what are you busy buying the other half of Fall River? And he's like, he smirked, and then he goes, Walter would want to.
Yeah, he knows me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fortunately, he gives me grace.
Yeah.
He likes that I'm good at what I'm good at, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like sometimes I'm too good, and sometimes I overwhelm the funnel on the deal side, and we still got to pick it up back on the labor side. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's
you've been
just,
talking. What is that? Obviously, I see you in Zoom calls all over the place, Saturday, Monday, whatever. But recently, you've been talking about this triangle you're either overwhelmed with the labor or with the deal, and what was the third one? The money. Money.
yeah.
Yeah. Was that from a
Sometimes-
book
So
or
that
just
actually,
focusing on it recently? It just seems like you've been saying it a lot. So
I've been thinking about it a lot more because I'm still working on the book. I'm working on the Real Estate Alchemist, Fast Track Retirement, and it's all the different strategies. And so there are two elements in the universe. I look at them as time and energy, or money, right? Energy and money, they're transferable. So you have time and energy. But when you look at real estate investing or any business in general, you've got skill, people, money, right? So there's people who put the skill into place and the money that can replace or buy those people or pay for more educated people, pay for the skill to be done. But without one of them, you can kind of skate by. Without two of them, impossible, right? You need at least two of them to skate by. With all three, it's just super fast.
nice.
And in real estate, it's deals, money, and labor. Deals is the skill set in real estate investing. If you think the labor piece that's what a lot of people think. Oh, I'm a plumber, I can real estate invest. You still can't find a fucking deal, right? The money in real estate investing is made on the purchase. If you've heard it before, the money's made on the purchase. You don't make your money on the sale. You make it when you buy the property. So then in real estate investing, the secret to real estate investing is buying property at a good deal. That's it.
Yep.
It's deals, money, labor. And I learned that from Tom. Tom Caffarella runs Cameron Real Estate Group. He used to be a coach. And now he's just doing big developments and runs a big brokerage up in north of Boston, the North Shore. But that was his principle. And he had this 3-day coaching program, and he'd be like, deals, money, labor. We're going to focus on finding deals. And that was where he spent most of his time. He's like, you can figure out the labor, right? And if you got the deal, you can get the money. You talk a little bit about hard money and stuff, and that's how he bought everything. I remember 2 years ago, I was having a conversation with his partner, Bill, and he's like, dude, like, this is our first 1031 exchange. I'm thinking, dude, you've been flipping property for the past 12 or 13 years. How is they own 300 units in Boston? I'm like, how is this your first 1031 exchange?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we just got so obsessed with running it, flipping and building the business that we never really considered the 1031.
Wow.
Like you can build a big machine and not have all the answers is basically what the point was. Is like he just built a massive income machine, massive net worth machine, but they hadn't built a great tax strategy yet. And so they were just burning taxes every single year.
Wow. Where the hell was their lawyer? Holy shit. That's a lot of money left on the table.
They didn't have a Mike Schein, you know? They had a great closing attorney, but he wasn't a Mike Schein.
But I mean, in the end, the point there is that, you know,
maybe it's more popular now. I don't know. I just think it would be the first thing you mentioned.
I think it's definitely more popular now. I think real estate investing has become a little more prevalent to, like, you know, whatever.
Normal people. Yeah.
But like
when I do the forms and the closing documents, you know, whether you have to pay capital gains, you know, the last question is, did you buy this property? Or second to last, did you buy this property in the 1031 exchange? And all the husbands and wives who are buying their single family house are like,
what is that?
What's the 1031?
Mike Schein is educating people with every purchase of a home.
Funny you should ask. I'm having a seminar on Friday night.
Here's what's great, though. You can crush it without having all the answers. You know, that's the example. Like Galter just gave, you know, of his buddy. Like, that's what I took away from it, because a lot of us get in our own way because it's just like, oh, well, this, that, like I love, like, especially with the new investors, like, oh, should I create an LLC? And I'm like, just find a good deal.
Get the deal. Right. We'll
Buy
worry about the
right.
structure later.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people are trying to essentially build the entire corporation before they even do the first transaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not necessarily. Hey, Mitch, who's the woman down in Florida that posts on Facebook all these amazing? I think she's like a realtor friend of yours, and she showed us like 100 units that were sold recently.
You're giving so many details.
I'm just like,
Out there just-
the woman down in Florida that posts, I was like, all right, let's keep narrowing it down.
Yeah.
So she sounds like a real estate agent.
FLOOK.
Oh, you talking about Christine? Yeah, she's a commercial broker.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
she posted some pretty impressive deals down there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, she's posting stuff that, I think either A, she has for sale, B, she was a part of the transaction. So, but yeah.
Get her on the podcast. Get her on.
We could have her on.
I think
I
it's
got to listen. I got a ton of good South Florida people that'd be great for any of the podcasts. So,
Mitch,
She did one that was like 100 units. She must have been the broker on it. And yeah, it's very
I feel
impressive.
like you holding
does
out
off
on
market.
us isn't fair. I feel like you should be like introducing us to your friends, connecting them.
I've done some of it. I think I've connected you and Dorina with some decent contacts. So,
You have, and I've interviewed them on the podcast, and it's been cool.
That's awesome.
But me and Mike, we're feeling a little jealous. We just
speaking of,
Millionaires.
that's right. Did you guys end up connecting with Rita from the investor group?
I'm not sure. Did you send that to Dorina?
I think I sent it to Dorina. Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully that happened. Hopefully that went down. If it didn't, I'll follow up with her in a little bit if I remember. I'm gonna text her right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be more affirmative. I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah.
Text her right now and make sure she's.
Yeah, she's like number 2, I would say, in terms of that whole organization. Like, she started the South Florida chapter. I didn't realize there was already another chapter before that. But yeah, in terms
Hey,
of the
so
woman,
we're going to talk about the subdivision in Florida?
Yeah, we could do that after this. If you want, I can sign this off.
Yeah.
So I guess what we learned today was that real estate is still better than stocks. Cryptocurrency has something called blockchain.
Yeah.
and Galter's eyes just glazed over.
One thing we did not discuss, which was the intersection of real estate and stocks, with Chamath doing that new deal. The IPOB is the symbol. He's doing these, what is it, SPAC, right? SPAC.
Yep.
And he had IPOA, which became Virgin Galactic when they put Virgin Galactic in there, now it's space. And IPOB.
Which I own space. I own a bunch of shares of space because I couldn't help myself. Full disclosure.
But IPOB, Chamath's second SPAC, he is now putting in a company called Open Door that Walter knows very well, right?
So Open Door is a large company that buys single-family homes across the Midwest. And actually, our buddy Drew Martin flipped a lot of his property to Open Door. He would buy a house just knowing Open Door's criteria, and as long as he was 30,000 under it, he'd flip it over to Open Door. They'd pick up the property, do a little bit of lipstick on the pig. Yeah, Open Door, when they were buying aggressively, was his easiest strategy. Like, didn't have to do any marketing. Just he already had a buyer. Just line it up.
Well, Chamath, who's a billionaire investor, big investor in Tesla, big investor in a lot of things, is he's part of this deal to bring it public, and
so Open Doors, it's a company I want to jump into. It's like Zillow. So Zillow investors. I can't remember. There's 2 forms of Zillow. They both run around the same stock price. They're around $80 right now. I've owned Zillow for a long time because it's a disruptive stock. Everybody in real estate's afraid of them. And so I've owned Zillow and Redfin for a long time because I figured, look, if every agent is afraid of Zillow and Redfin, I want to be a part of it. Just like EXP. Everybody's afraid of EXP and its rise. Well, I want to be a part of that. Even if I'm in the industry and they're beating us up here, I'm making it on the back end. So
exactly. Smart.
So Open Door is the same thing. They're making it so you can just buy real estate online, which is as investors, that's what we'd rather anyway.
Yeah, he said
We'd rather not have to do all the other stuff.
Something about they can close in 3 days if they accept their It may end up ending my title business, but I'm okay. I'll get it on the back end.
That's it,
Honestly,
Mike. So that's why all of this disruptive technology, it's like I'd rather just invest in it instead of try to fight it, right?
Yeah.
There's really no fighting this thing.
exactly.
Let's just buy it, invest in it, and
Yeah.
Mike, it's going to retire you in two ways. It's going to put you out of business, but it's going to retire you because you made all the money investing in that
Right.
technology.
hey, Mike, is a Rocket Lawyer available on the public?
Rocketlawyer.com. Get it. Get it while it's hot.
Hey, I used to do my LLCs on Rocket Lawyer. That's why they're still fucked up. So
That's funny.
me and Ron are both like members on one, like
That's
it
just
was
funny.
dumb. But now we have attorneys. who
Get
do
some
lawyers.
lawyers that get so incensed by like Zoom,
Hey,
legal Zoom.
Legal Zoom, yeah.
So bad. It's like,
Mike,
dude,
what's crazy is that
not a simple will. I don't know. What do you? So what? It's
I'm
funny.
with you, man. If Legal Zoom and like Rocket Lawyer become a thing, I want to invest in that.
Yeah.
Just like on the back end, it's like okay, just in case, in case this works out well.
I just think
smart.
scarcity versus abundance mindset.
Mhm.
If you're sitting there worried about these companies, then you've
Yeah.
got a scarcity mindset. There's
You're
plenty
just not servicing your clients well enough, right? Like I don't worry about our brokerage at all. Open Door will never take away from the training people need, the
Exactly.
education they need, the hand holding they need. Like you can't get that kind of, you can't know you're buying a right deal just because you were able to buy the deal, right? You got to still be able to evaluate. There's so much that everything we do, and same with you, right? Like there's so much you do that you couldn't replace. Now, well, are there a bunch of people like you? No, there's a lot of people that could just easily be replaced by this. And it's like, well, maybe they should be worried. I get why they're afraid. They don't want to be better. That's okay.
Yeah.
But
I think it's cool. I get excited about stocks and I get
Same.
excited about disruptive companies as we were just talking about. So
Mike,
in Chamath,
speaking of disruptive, you know what actually could make closing possible in just a couple days because, title would be
lemonade,
like that. What?
lemonade.
No.
Yeah.
Blockchain technology.
nice. See?
Wait,
When I-
talking
Yeah,
about?
because it would be on the blockchain.
You
You're
have
absolutely
no
right.
idea. Like when I think about like
Title.
businesses
Yeah.
that would benefit from blockchain, real estate is number one. If the chain of title was on the
Right.
blockchain instead, oh my goodness, closing
when-
would be like this.
That's brilliant. That's
when you
brilliant.
guys start buying multifamilies with blockchain, I am so in. We gotta
Wow.
turn this
You know,
single family in
you're not-
Pennsylvania over.
He wasn't
You're
just
not
talking
buying them.
about buying it. He's talking about the actual title is in a blockchain so that nothing can change.
Yeah, like case in point, you could have literally any company, like
Yeah.
there could be a company that literally says, hey, listen, we're going to start offering, chain of title on a blockchain. Like it
Oh
could be
my
a regular
God, they're
corporation.
perfect. It saves so much time, right? It's always the title right at the end, right at the closing. Oh no, now it's gonna be 3 more
Yeah.
weeks. What do you
So-
mean? We had 6 weeks.
If it's all on the blockchain, you're not chasing that information. It's all there. Like
Right, so let's see.
any
We got
title attorney would
wait,
basically like, oh, I need this piece of information. Boom. Look it right up. They don't have to chase.
M for Mitch, G for Walter, M for Michael. MGM blockchain title. And why don't we just start it, man?
I'm ready to go.
The
I'm
MGM
ready to do this. Let's just.
I'm
disrupt
actually,
the
you know what, Mike?
technology.
We actually have to talk about that. That's
Yeah,
not because,
we could do it.
and especially for me, would be step 2 because if you do want to use crypto to invest in real estate, I might know a company and I might
Yeah.
be starting a fund with a few guys I know. Oh wait, it already started.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hey, when we were talking about your PDF that you sent me of the blockchain Bitcoin
Yes.
instruction for beginners, I sent you something else where some company was using blockchain, and you said, yeah, that's different from Bitcoin. That I don't remember what the company was, but I don't know.
I
if you
don't remember.
Yeah, but there's some
specifically.
company, and you said, yeah, it makes a lot of sense that they would be using it for that type.
Yeah, and here's the thing what people don't realize. There are multinational corporations that use like IBM uses blockchain. There's a ton of companies that are implementing blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is also great for logistics, just like chain of title, tracking information, So blockchain technology is starting to get used by a lot of corporations.
Bless you.
To track goods, to track
Yeah.
the shipment of goods and everything. You know what I mean? Like it's just taking it to another level. So like, yeah, when people talk about blockchain, they just think crypto, but like companies have recognized the value and power of this technology and they've started to implement it. So you got companies, like I said, like IBM, Google, Microsoft, like they have divisions, they have blockchain divisions at this point. So, you know, that's why I tell people, I'm like, listen, you can feel however you feel about crypto, but the blockchain technology is here to stay and it's being incorporated into our society, into businesses because they see the value of it. And how
I was
useful
just
it is.
thinking while you were saying that. So you were talking, you looked puzzled when I mentioned Kathy Wood from ARK Investors. She has said that everybody should own some blockchain or some Bitcoin in their
Well, yeah.
portfolios.
Well, I was only puzzled because I was like, wait a second, I think that's who
Yeah.
turned me on to Square because I read a random article on like Google Finance and it happened to be about her, interviewing her.
Yeah. So can we also, I still want to do the
It's the
vending
blockchain.
machines. I want
Yes.
to buy the blockchain vending machine so I can, get Bitcoin out of a machine.
Oh my God.
So I'm excited about switching over to blockchain when I get a coin like this. When they actually send me one of these, then I'll be like, all right, buy the Bitcoin. Send me the Bitcoin.
You
I want
guys,
to
Does anybody actually have Bitcoins?
you guys are killing me right now.
Swear to God, does
The
anybody?
whole point of crypto is so it's not physical money, digital.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a crazy person, someone did fulfill that need where you can literally buy a coin that has like your stuff encrypted on it, like your whatever, where it is, your wallet, your something. I forget the details of it, but either way, it's the stupidest thing in the world because it's like, yes, let me carry around this thing that's worth 10 G's. Yeah, that's smart.
Hey,
Yeah.
your booklet on blockchain, you should put that in like the comments or the chat because I found it to be very educational. And that little thing that you had where you can disconnect your Bitcoin from your computer, and the only way to move your Bitcoin is to physically press a button on the hardware.
Yes.
What's it, a hard wallet? What's it called?
Yes, hard wallet.
Hard wallet. See, I learned, Mitch, I
Did.
learned that thing is the bomb.
Bitcoin.
It's a little
Well,
USB thing. You press
yes,
a button,
so-
you want it to go.
It's funny too, because obviously I have my crypto universe, my crypto people, and like I've been knee deep because we're doing this crypto launch, and so having this conversation is funny because it's like total opposite end of the spectrum,
Right.
like because we've been talking about wallets and stuff because we had to move some stuff around and we were helping some people. And
Do you guys have these meetings in like a underground cave that's like 400
No.
feet below the
No,
surface of
I
the
actually
earth?
so I do a weekly
It's
call.
the only place you could have a Bitcoin conversation.
I'm on a
and still
Zoom
be
call
cool.
Go
once
down
a
in an
week
elevator
with my crypto folks.
in
just
a
like
mountain.
this.
in a mountain.
What's the password?
Yeah,
Ah.
right. So,
Blockchain.
But yeah, so
I want to go.
what Mike's referring to is I wrote a 20-page book so people could learn crypto real quick, scared that guy to knowing what the heck Bitcoin is. And basically it describes all those things Mike just talked about, those basic things. So yeah, understanding what a wallet is in terms of your crypto. So I understand like why you like that so much, the hard wallet, because that's the biggest thing people are scared of is my crypto going to get stolen? So if you put it essentially on an external hard drive is what it's equivalent
Yeah.
to. The only way someone can get that crypto is A, plugging it into the machine, and B, knowing your passwords, and C, pressing the button. So it's like extra layers of security because soft wallets are on your computer. So if someone like directly hacks your computer, then you could possibly have an issue.
It's 20 pages for $2.99, right?
Yes.
And I thought it was a great introduction to crypto if you're a newbie, because crypto and blockchain, to me, I hadn't done any research, and to just read the 20 pages and see basics on all this stuff was really
At the end of it, you understand how it works. You'll be
Yep.
able to do basic transactions and acquire some crypto if you want to. And that was the point. And, I actually struggle with it because, and Galton knows it's like, we want to like provide all this information. And I'm like, 20-page book. Like, really? And I'm like, no, like there's literally a category in Amazon for basically books, 15 to 20 pages. And I was like, you know what? That's all this needs to be because I don't need to over explain it. This is a
right.
quick newbie starter guide.
There's people like me who in the disc profile, I'm an I. So I don't want
I.
to go into 200 pages on Bitcoin and blockchain, but in 20
Yeah.
pages, I understand now how a block and a blockchain does not change. So that's what we were just talking about with the title, that you could have each sale or purchase as a separate block in a blockchain so that everyone would know around the world that nothing has changed. You can't, there can be no fraud.
You
That's
can literally reference any title. Like it's going to happen at some point. So like 300 years from now, there's going to be people literally referencing the title of our deals
right.
that far back just because they can. And like, yep, title's clean. Yep. It went from Galter to Mike to Mitch to
MGM blockchain title.
GM blockchain title.
I like it. And then people think we're also a casino. So it's perfect.
That's right.
Kind
We
of
have a
is.
lion.
You know, of blockchain, and you just bring in your cryptos, and
I want
Ironically,
I want a lion and a pyramid.
ironically, the crypto project that I'm like, you know, this I was talking about this week, that is our logo. It's a lion because it's called Leo. So we have a lion as part of it. So
how can you become part of the blockchain that thing, your real estate?
This thing, it's a few levels deep because basically we're a community. It's actually, so think of like Seeking Alpha.
Yeah.
It's a site like that, but it's crypto. It's tied to a crypto. So like I blog on that. I do financial blogs on that. I earn Leo from people voting on my posts and whatnot. I earn Leo from curating other people's posts and whatnot. But all it is basically it's like, we call it a tribe token because it's on a specific blockchain. It's called the like Hive blockchain. And someone created a capacity where we could create coins on that. But since it's on that blockchain, we can't really like take that coin and put it on like Coinbase or something. So there's a whole big new thing in crypto now called DeFi, decentralized finance. And there's coins like Chainlink and things like that. So we're going to do that with this coin. Basically, you can wrap your coin on the Ethereum network. You can basically turn it into what is called an ERC20 token, which is what makes Ethereum popular, is that you can create all these tokens on the Ethereum blockchain and use smart contracts. That's why people like Ethereum, is because they have smart contracts and you can do what is called an ERC20 token. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a wrapped.
If this just flew over your head, I would read the 20-page.
Yeah. So like I said, this is like next level stuff. This is when you actually really have to be involved in crypto. But once you understand it, it clicks pretty easy. So, you know, by doing this wrapped token, we're going to be able to get our Leo little tribe token that's on the Hive blockchain. We're going to be able to get that on the Ethereum network as an ERC20 token, which now gives us the possibility to eventually get it listed on major exchanges if, you know, it does enough volume and has enough, liquidity and all that. So that's why I said there's a possibility for this to turn into something really big for me because, you know, I'm an early investor in it. Like I'm an angel investor and I have a good chunk of tokens. So that's why I was excited about it. But yeah, it's kind of like that second, third level into crypto. But put it this way, if I ever tell you that, you know, our coin got on the major exchange, just know that my net worth definitely went up a lot.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping a year from now I can say that to you.
That will be the goal. So since we're talking about coins, well, how do you guys feel about gold coins? Investing in boring old gold coins.
Mike, you answer because I have an answer that I'll physically show. Crap, my green screen's in the way.
I have no interest. So.
Same. But
after you listen to Warren Buffett talk about gold and how it can't do anything.
Right. It's Warren Buffett's opinion that totally crushed it. All right, Mitch, how much gold do you have over there? What about
I actually have no. That's why, man, I messed my green screen up.
Green screen's all messed up.
People are getting live.
At least you have one.
Live. So basically, I was going to say I like silver better and then prove it by showing my Australian koala.
That's awesome.
Look at you. Look at you.
Nice.
I'll just say, yeah, I have, for those listening, I only have one of these.
Yep.
So basically, like a year, actually at this point, it's a year and a half ago, the gold silver ratio got so out of whack that if you were bullish on gold, you should have been even that more bullish on silver because you knew at some point it was going to revert back to the mean. So silver was just so discounted to gold. So if you were bullish on gold, it just made sense. So I actually had a friend, a day trader. Before we got all this volatility in the market, you had 5, 6, 7 years of no volatility, which is like grinding day traders to death. So I had a friend that was just looking to raise some capital. So he was selling all his gold coins, silver coins, and I bought, some silver coins off of him because I believed in silver. I wish I would have bought. He had a gold coin that I wanted to buy, and I didn't do it. I wish I would have done it because that thing would have crushed it for me. But my point is, gold is at quite a run. I do like it still, but if you're gonna buy gold, you should definitely also buy some silver.
Gold ounce. What's it worth right now? Spot price gold per ounce is about it's just around 2,000 an ounce, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when it was floating around 1,200, 1,300. That's when I bought the silver, and I wish I would have bought some more gold. I mean, I have exposure to gold through ETFs. Like I own the Junior Miners ETF.
Yep.
I also have Silver Corp, I think it is. I forget which silver miner I have, but I have one silver miner as well. But yeah, as far as physical metals, I only own silver. I wish I owned some physical gold. The problem with asking about, gold now is, well, I loved it at 1,200. I hate buying things after they've made a sick run, but that's also why I miss out on a lot of big gains. Hence the Tesla story where I bought Tesla at 180, sold at 420, only to watch it to go to 2,000. So
yeah,
don't be a scaredy cat.
I got a similar story with Tesla. It's not good. So I was doing the math in my head. I could drop 10 grand on some coins and have 5 of these little 1 ounce coins, or I could drop 100 grand and have 50 of them and carry around a golden pouch, a little pouch of cash, a purse.
Dude, so wait, true story. True story. When I first started day trading,
$100,000 purse of gold.
Dude, true story. When I first started day trading, I was trading at this firm in downtown Manhattan.
Yep.
At a firm, and the guy who owned it, who was definitely a troublemaker, and got busted for insider trading at one point. But anyway, I remember, came to the office with a backpack, and he had a gold brick in it. Like that's the type of stuff he would do. He would literally like walk around with a gold brick in his backpack, which was pretty cool to hold because I never, physically held a gold brick before.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What was the?
There you go. See
that thing. How many ounces was that?
If you had a pouch, Walter, you could go like meet a hobbit and trade a gold coin out of your pouch,
right?
For maybe a meal.
I'll toss a coin of gold across the room. I'd like a room for the night.
And then you bump your head on the little.
Oh my goodness!
Well, the worst part about this is I've actually already visualized like not just a pouch now, but a treasure chest. So I'd have to spend $500,000 to get myself, a good.
Mike, he wants to do the Scrooge McDuck dive into the gold.
Oh, Scrooge McDuck! Yeah, it'd be like 250 coins. I feel like that would fill up a space about good size. That'd be cool, right? I just have like a little.
The 100 Millionaires podcast has officially gone off the rails.
Yeah, right. We jumped the shark.
All right, so
let's get off and talk about something.
Yes, sir.
All right, cheers. Let's. When you have a choice, always work the best. Mike Schein, how do you bring us out of here?
Massive income from passive income, Bitcoin.
This Saturday, we're doing our 52 Weeks of Wealth Principle 33. Mike, do you know what it is?
No, it's actually 34.
Is it 34 now?
Yeah, except what can't be changed and create an advantage. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, which is pretty heavy.
Ooh, that's a good book.
I love that. It goes into what I like to say. What's your edge? Find your edge.
Yeah, that was hard. It was hard to read that book, by the way. I just about the Holocaust, and it's pretty heavy. So,
Mike, the wealth principle is accept what can't be changed and create an advantage. I love it. So tough to accept, but shit, some tough times are coming, and we're gonna adjust. We're gonna pivot. Disruptive technology, be a part of it. Don't fight it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, cheers to your success. Like I said, when you have a choice,
always work with the best.
Peace, peace, peace.
Stop recording.